Hi, it's Stephen here at Bland Designs, and today what I thought I'd do is show you how I made my latest travel album. As you know from my previous videos that I've been to Australia last month, and I want to show you what I tried to do to make a travel album that was quick, that was easy, um, uh, and the technology that I used to create it. Now, I started off right off the bat thinking, okay, here's my problem. I know that with going to Australia and New Zealand, I was going to take a lot of pictures with my camera. In fact, final total was over 3,000 pictures. That's the beauty of a digital camera and probably the negative side of digital photography. You take way more pictures than you normally would if it was the old film technology and you had to develop them. So I knew I was going to be taking a lot of pictures, and I knew too that when I came home and started working on my album that it would take me months, if not a year, to get it finished. So what I decided to do was to sort of do it on the road, and we have the technology to do this. So I'm going to show you how I did this and what the trials and tribulations were that I went through in creating this album. So just quickly, I'm going to give you a quick peek at the final product, and then I'm going to talk about the process I went through. So this is an 8x8 album. It's a Project Life album, and what I did was before I left on the trip, a month or so before, I knew I was going to do it this way. So I bought my album, and I bought 8x8 page protectors for the album from Project Life. Now these are page protectors that are just one page. They're not divided up. But there is a Project Life app that allows you to digitally put your pictures into pockets and then print it out afterwards. So it looks like you've actually used the card inserts in the actual pockets, but these are not. These are one blank page that printed out from the app this way. So as you can see quickly, I've got quite a few pages here. And the other thing is you can use the card inserts, digital ones, with this program. You can see I've used them here. You can put your own text into them, pick your font, the whole bit. So I created all these pages. Basically, I created a page or 2 pages each day at the end of the trip before I went to bed that night. I did it very quickly, and I stored them on my iPad. Now, I took my camera, my iPhone, and my iPad with me on this trip. The camera, I took all my pictures on pretty much, and I did my videos with the camera as well. I could have used just my iPhone for this, but I wanted a little bit better quality in my pictures than what the iPhone would give me. So you can see all the pages are done here. And of course with Project Life you can enhance your pages by adding other things to it after you've printed them out. So this is the whole thing, and I'm not going to take you through it all. I'm just giving you a really quick leaf through of the final product here. I think there's about 50 pages in this, and then there's a few extra inserts, like I did the Harbor Bridge walk and they gave you a certificate. So this I did at home. The certificate was much bigger. I just scanned it, shrunk it down so it would fit in the album. Then there were some pictures that I made into 4x4s, and these are pocket inserts with this. Reason being is these were pictures that were done at the Sydney Opera House, and it was a package that you could buy at the Sydney Opera House, and they sort of took your picture and superimposed you with different shots in and around the Opera House. I used my Fusion tool to create these pockets for the coinage that they have. By the way, just as an aside, that Fuse tool that they have and the way it works, I'm really not that happy with it. It doesn't seal that well. In fact, this one's already come undone. I don't know if I'm using it wrong or what the story is, but I got to go back in and fix that. And then I bought some envelope pages as well for, you know, extra memorabilia. And I put all my pictures on a DVD and I put them in the back of the album. So essentially, the album, with the exception of printing, was done before I even got home. So I'm going to show you the process I used with this. As I told you, I took my iPad with me, and here's my iPad here. And on my iPad and also on my iPhone, I have a program, the app for Project Life. Now, just before I start talking about how I use this, you might wonder how I got my pictures from my digital camera onto my iPad. Well, there are various methods you can use, but everybody knows that with an iPad or an iPhone, there is no place where you can insert an SD memory card into it. So basically, you have to go through iTunes from your computer. You'd have to transfer your pictures to iTunes and then put them in iTunes and then sync it up. And that's a bit of a pain. But what I discovered was a neat little program, and I'm going to find it here for you. And it's an app, and it's a free app, and it's called PhotoSync. And what PhotoSync does is it allows you put it onto your computer and you put it onto your iPhone, or you can put it on your iPad, and it avoids having to go through iTunes. All you do is it reads the files that you have set up on your computer or on your iPad in your photo directory, and you just tap on the ones that you want to transfer from one device to the other. And it works very well, very fast. It works with videos as well, and this way you don't have to go through iTunes to use it. So that's called PhotoSync, PhotoSync. It's a free app. Just go into the App Store, download it for your iPhone or for your iPad, and also there's a version for your PC, and you run them on both of them, and presto, you can transfer your videos or your pictures back and forth very quickly. So that's what I use. So the first step in all of this was, for the day, I had my pictures set up in directories on my camera. I had set the camera up so that it would put the pictures according to the date. So it made little subdirectories on the SD memory card. And so all the pictures I took on like January the 8th were in the January 8th folder. So each day I would take those, transfer them over to the iPad using PhotoSync. So they were on there. Then I would go into Project Life. Now Project Life, I'm not going to explain the whole app to you, but what I used was basically the template outline, and here you go. It comes up with one for you, a default, but you can go in and you can change the background color. So in this case, the background color is white. That's that border all the way around it, and change it to whatever color you like. And you can choose different formations just by clicking on them. Now, it comes with some. I have bought all of the different formations, and these formations match up pretty much with the actual plastic page protectors that you can buy through Project Life for all of this. They're not expensive, the digital ones, though. I think they cost about $1.36 or something American for each one. So I've bought all the various designs that they have, and you just pick what you want. Once you've picked the layout, let me just go up to, say, this one. You just click on one of the pictures, and you have two icons. One icon has these little figures on it. That's for pictures. And what it does is it goes into your photo directory, and you can pick from that the picture you want to put in. You just click on it, and it'll load it into the picture frame. There we go. Now this isn't one of my travel ones. You can also enlarge it or squish it down, whichever, and you can move it around as well. When you get it the way you want it, just go to the next one, etc. Now if you want to add one of those little insert cards that Project Life has, you know, this these kind of things that usually you buy in the kits, in the core kits, you can. It's the same method. You click on the square, and this time you click on the one that looks like a document, and it's going to take you to your kits. Now it shows you the kits that you own under My Kits. These are the ones that I own, and then more kits, so you can buy more. And again, these are not expensive. If you buy one of these core kits in the physical format, usually they run around 40 bucks. On here they run around $1.36, $2.39, something like that for it. So you just pick the kit that you want. I have one called Travel, and it shows you the cards. Now, it has filler cards because it recognizes the size that is here. Journaling cards, etc. If I had been on this square, the larger one, it would recognize the size of that and give me all the selections for that. So let's just say that this was going to be my journaling card, and I'll pick a journaling card. Okay, there it is. And then when I click on it, I get a new icon. And this icon down here is for adding text. So you click on it, type in your text. You can change your font size. Oops. So you can get a spell corrector on it. No, wait, I did that wrong. Okay, let me back up here just a second. Okay. Text. I can change my font size. I can change the placement of it. I can center it. I can change what the font looks like. And they have a selection of fonts, and you can buy other fonts as well. Again, the same method as you buy the kits. And you can change the color of the font as well. So really, it gives you lots of versatility. You can also change the placement of it vertically up or down. So it's very usable. It's very user friendly as well. And when I got the whole page done, and it has a help feature too that comes up that you can turn on or off. I have it on right now. So once I've finished doing this, I click the X and it says, are you done editing this page? And I say yes. And it stores it in the library. So you come down to the library section and you have all of your pages here. Now, the thing is, you can rename the pages, and that's what I did to keep track of them. It won't come up with a name. But if I go into more options when I'm in the library and I hit the sort button, sorry, not sort number, I just hit the page I want, it gives me some options. And one of those options is to update the page info. And in that, I can call it whatever I want to call it. For the sake of my album, I did them chronologically. So each day when I did 1 or 2 pages, I would just label them page 1, page 2, and I carried on with that numbering sequence right up until I finished all of the pages. So I had like up to page 50. So I'll get out of that. Now, the other thing that you do then, this is all be in your library. When I came home and it was time to print them, I can print them from my iPad as well. So what you do in that case is you call it up from your library. I'll take that page. And down here, there's a little arrow in a box, and this is the one that gives you exporting features. If you're an iPad user, you're familiar with this little symbol. So you click on that, and it says, do you want to social sharing it? So you could put it up to Facebook or something like that. Do you want to export it, update page info, add to a folder? Well, I want to export it because I want to print it, and it gives me a choice. I can either change it into a 12 by 12 image, or I can change it in an 8 by 8 image. Now, most people do not have a wide format printer to print out something that's 12 by 12. I do, but I decided I didn't really want to blow this up into a 12 by 12 album. I wanted something a little bit more compact, so I went with the 8 by 8. So you just click on 8 by 8, and it may come up with a warning asking you, are you sure it's saying that this looks like it's incomplete? Because it is. I don't have other pictures in it. But are you sure you want to export? And I'm going to say yes. And it takes just a minute to do that. And now that it's done, it gives me some choices here. And here's the choices where I could send them to an external storage device. I could send them to my cloud. I can add notes, whatever, and I can print. But just before I talk about the print, I do want to talk about one of the problems I had, the amount of storage that I had on the iPad. I wanted to keep them all on here, but by putting the pictures on, by putting the videos on, and by treating the pages, I ran out of physical space on the iPad. This one's only a 64 gigabyte, I guess it is, size pad. So I had to remove things. So what I was doing was I was sending them to Google Drive. Now this means I had to have an internet connection for this. And by the way, you need to have an internet connection in order to transfer using PhotoSync too. So keep that in mind. You have to have a decent Wi-Fi setup. Now, most hotel rooms and the trip you go on, they probably have it there, so you don't have to worry. I'll come back to that thought in just a minute. So what I was doing was I was sending the finished pages to my Google Drive so that when I came home, I could just lift them from the Google Drive and print them out from there. And I would remove them then physically from the iPad, and that gave me more room. Now back to the Wi-Fi connection though. In Australia, the Wi-Fi connection is not what we're used to here in North America. It was very, very slow. It also had a limitation on how much I could upload or download in any given day. That created some problems for me with storage. So at times, I actually, especially with my videos, my idea was to do my videos each day and transfer them to YouTube through the Wi-Fi connection in the hotel. That worked okay when we were on the cruise ship. They had a little better Wi-Fi system on there, but did not work so well when we were actually in Sydney. So what I ended up doing, because I was running out of storage space on this, was transferring them to my iPhone, and I used PhotoSync to do that. But my iPhone is 128 gigs in size, and I had plenty of room on it. So I was basically using my iPhone as a temporary storage for the videos because I wasn't able to upload all of those using Google Drive because of the connection I had. So I got around it doing that. It's a bit of a pain. It's not ideal, but it worked out okay. So once I came home, then I had all of these on Google Drive. Now I could make room on my iPad, and I just transferred them back over and I could print them. So you just hit the print button and it comes up and it looks for whatever printer, and I have a wireless printer for this. And I just sent it to it and it printed those pages out that you've already seen. You see it changed it to the 8x8 because that's what I exported it to, and that worked fine. Okay, so really, I'm really happy with what happened. It didn't take up that much of my time during the day to do it. As I said, we'd come back from our day out and about, and before we went out for dinner that night, usually I could do off a couple of pages, and on my pad it was very quick, very fast. And when I came home, I printed out all the pages. They printed out beautifully, and I created my album. It was as simple as that. So my recommendations: if you want to do an album, you want to get it done fast, you want to have almost immediate gratification, this is one way to do it. Drawbacks: you need a good Wi-Fi connection, and you need lots of storage space on either your phone or on your iPad for this kind of thing. Now, of course, if you're taking your laptop along with you, which I could have done, but I didn't want to carry a laptop with me for a month, you could probably get around the storage problem doing that. One thing I wish in the future, and this is just an aside, that they would make an iPad that has the ability to externally connect to a micro drive, or at least to a USB. In fact, I bought, when I was in Australia, I went to the Apple store in Sydney, and I bought a connection that was supposed to allow you to plug in a USB so you could transfer things back and forth. Well, no. It didn't work with a USB. The guy in the store told me it would. The instructions said it was for a camera. You plugged your camera using a USB connection with it. It would only, of course, pick up pictures or videos. That's how Apple works. So if you had other data or other programs, it wouldn't do that. And I basically ended up taking it back because it was not what I wanted. There are some other solutions out there, I think. I have to explore further for this kind of thing, but that was one of the drawbacks. So anyways, Project Life. I love Project Life. This is another way to use the app in Project Life to create an album, and I hope it's given you some ideas as well. Until later, bye-bye.